Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Wednesday Live here at Homebell Workshop. Hope you're all off to a great start for the day, or a great end, I suppose, depending on where you are in this great big world of ours. Either way, I hope you're doing awesome. Let's settle in here. Paul's here. Paul says first. Hello, everyone. Hello, Paul. Good morning. Paul says, let's see how work goes and if it lets me stay connected. Hopefully I stay connected today. I don't know what's going on. About 5 minutes before I started, we had a power flicker. You ever have that where your power goes out for about 4 seconds? Long enough to screw up everything that's related to the power? Hopefully it stays on and we can stay connected. Neptune's is here as well. Neptune says hello all. What's going on, man? Good morning. What's everybody working on today? I'm working on this coffee. We'll get to what I think I'm working on. What I think I'm working on here quite shortly. Once we get settled in for a little while. We have finally gotten to where we have a few nice days and it's not raining and thunderstorming. So it's been kind of nice. We actually hit like 90 degrees a couple days ago. 90's getting up there in temperature, but I'll take it after all this day in and day out of rain we've been having. Paul says, work and guitar bodies after work. Right on. Neptune says, working on a headache. Oh no, man. A little Tylenol and a giant thing of water. Hope your headache goes away. Robert's here. Robert says, morning peoples. Good morning, Robert. How are you today? Welcome to Wednesday. And Rick's here. Rick says, hi, Jeff. What's up, Rick? How are you doing today as well? Hope your day's going great. Right on, right on. Glad you guys could all tune in today. Take some time out of your busy schedule and hang out with this guy here in the workshop. Rick says it's my birthday. Well, Rick, happy birthday. Everybody, wish Rick a happy birthday. I'd sing, but you guys don't want to hear that. Brian says, oh, Brian's here. Says, good day, Jeff and everyone. Just got back from vacation in Malta. It was tough to go back to work. I can imagine. I can imagine. Hope your trip to Malta was awesome. Sounds like a mighty fine vacation to me. Rick says, LOL. Yeah, you don't want me to sing here. Neptune says, happy birthday, Rick. Brian says, happy birthday. Right on. Rick, I hope you have an awesome day. It's great. We can all celebrate. I wish I had a cake. We could have cake, or I'd have cake. Some cupcakes, something or other. Donuts, whatever. Right on. Rick says, thanks, Brian. Right on. Brian says, what's on the bench? I'm just about to get to that. Rick says, coffee here? Here, I'll give you a coffee. Cheers. Cheers. And a happy birthday. Well, what's on the bench? Brian asks. Well, what's not on the bench is that dang pressure washer. Finally got the parts in, if you remember last week, and from the video that came out a week ago. I was working on the tractor, pressure washer didn't work. Last week I had it in here on the bench waiting for parts, got the parts in, and replaced the pieces that I needed to replace. That thing's back up and running, and so now it's out of the shop, and the bench is clear. At least this bench is, which is good because we're getting ready to start acoustic guitar. That's what's on the bench right now. I haven't done much work yet, just preparation, doing some measurements and stuff like that this morning. This is an awesome set of ambrosia maple. Thank you, Paul. That, if I can hold this up, is going to be the back. If I can hold this together. For the next acoustic guitar build. I think I'm going to work on today getting these plates jointed and get them glued up. I'm going to do ambrosia maple back, ambrosia maple sides with a Port Orford cedar top. That's the plan. So I've dug out all the parts. I've been kind of torn because there's two different guitar builds that I want to do. I want to get started on the acoustic, but I also want to get started on the next bass guitar. Well, not the next. Yeah, I guess the next bass guitar. So I've been kind of going back and forth as to what I want to do, but I think I'm going to jump in and start on this. Like, isn't that cool? Look how awesome that is. That's going to be the back. Like, just such a cool grain pattern. So I haven't, like I said, I haven't done any actual work on this yet. That is the plan, though, today, to get started, get this edge joined, and get the plates glued up. So cool. But I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start on this and plug along on this guitar, while also at some point I'm probably going to jump in and work on the bass. I'm still fine-tuning a little bit of the designs. It is my goal to be able to cut out everything on the CNC machine, so I'm trying to make sure that I have the files all built and everything is kind of at least preliminarily I don't even think that's a word, how I want to have it. And then but in order to get started, I think I'm just going to jump in and get started on this acoustic. So I think that's the plan. Of course, it'll probably be kind of like the last acoustic build, where I'm working along on it, but I'm sure there's going to be other projects that jump in and, you know, we'll have to get knocked out. But at least I'll have this started, and you know, I will not be without something to work on. At least I can always go to the next step on this. Oh, let's see here. Robert says, yeah, I've had power blips also. A lot the last few days. It was out from around 8 in the evening to about 4:30 the next afternoon. Wow. Blipped about 5 times before it went out completely. Oh, man. Mike says, are we being Rick rolled? We're wishing Rick a happy birthday. It's his birthday. Brian says, I need to get out and clear off my bench and start something. And Neptune says, ooh, spalted. This is actually not, I think, I may be wrong. Ambrosia is different than spalted. Spalting is what happens to the wood right before it really starts to rot. It's like the pre-rot stage, when the piece of wood is sitting in kind of a damp location and the moisture starts to get in there, starts to get those black lines in there. I can show you a piece of spalted. Hang on, don't go anywhere. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. I'm not leaving you here. Don't worry. I got it. I'm coming back. So this is a piece of spalted maple. It is very similar. And I mean, I could be wrong. It could be part of the ambrosia, but the spalting has this black lines in here. So, you know, as the moisture sits, it wicks into the wood somehow. It starts to the pre-decay stage. And it forms these cool marks in here. I've got quite a lot of this spalted maple. This came from my mom's property. Some limbs that were cut down several years ago. Well, quite a few years ago now, and I rescued them. So, but ambrosia maple is a little bit different. You know, see all the little wormholes in there? I believe, I don't have all the technical information. I should have come a little bit more prepared for this. Ambrosia maple is these little bugs, I guess, get in there and, I don't know, deposit stuff that kind of starts to discolor it a little bit. But it's my understanding that it's not the rotting stage, or I hate to say rotting because the wood's not rotted like on the spalted, but it's the step just before it. I think there's a difference. So one's caused by bugs, one's caused by moisture. Hopefully I didn't screw that up too much, and I'm pretty close. Feel free to chime in and correct me. Brian says that maple is beautiful. It is so cool. Such a cool pattern, especially when you book match it. I was playing around with the alignment, and it aligns to almost a perfect book match when you get it in just the right spot. It's hard to show it on here, but somewhere around there. Like, it's just gonna be so cool on the back. So probably the first thing, well, I was gonna say the first thing I need to do, but probably the second. I'll probably do it after they're joined. Once I get it glued up, then I have to go through and fill in all these holes. I think I'm just gonna use, I don't know, brown, maybe some brown CA glue. Just fill those in. You'll see a little spot on there, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I was thinking black at first, but black would match more with the spalted maple. I think brown, just go through and fill all those, and then I can thickness these down after they're filled. I think that's the plan. Paul says, "You're welcome. It was too nice to sit in my shop and not become a guitar. It will soon become a guitar. Well, at least the beginnings of a guitar. It is super cool looking." Mike says, "That's cool. Very nice plates." Yeah, I cannot wait. And then I have here, I should have unwrapped this, some Port Orford cedar. It has some super tight grain lines on there. Like, there's my finger for scale. Not that you're really... I mean, those grain lines are really tight. So, hopefully that makes a good combination for this next guitar. Then I keep going back and forth trying to figure out what I want to do for the neck. You know, traditionally a lot of people just build a neck out of mahogany, but I kind of like the continuity of the piece when the neck wood matches the rest of the body. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear your opinions on that. I was thinking maybe a maple neck. I don't typically see a lot of people bringing that, using the same species of wood. You know, I've not looked at a guitar and really said, "Oh, that looks weird," you know, when they don't match. But to me, there's something that, I don't know, it's kind of cool when everything matches. What do you guys think? Any opinions? Robert says, "It looks pretty nice. The book match looks almost perfect." It is almost perfect. I mean, there's like the tiniest little bit, and if I shift them just a little bit to line up the grain lines, it is like spot on. So I think it's going to be really cool. Neptune says, "Oh, okay, so does that mean I'm spalted?" the pre-decay stage. I guess that's probably me as well. That's funny. Robert says, "Happy birthday, Rick." Brian says, "The streaking is caused by an infestation of the ambrosia beetle." Yes, ambrosia beetle. Yes, thank you. And Robert says, "Spalting is the fungus in the wood caused by the moisture and pre-stages of rot." Yes, there we go. See, so I wasn't too far off. Little beetles get in there and chew it up, leave deposits or something, and the other one is, it's the moisture pre-rot. Yep, so two different things, sort of similar look, slightly similar look, but two different, completely different causes. So yeah, I'm excited. I got to dig my plans out. If you remember when I did the acoustic, I pretty much worked with the plans here all the time. I'm going to do that again. This one I'm going to do another OM, just like the first build. Not really going to make any drastic changes to the process for this. I've got another. I've got some other materials that I've started acquiring for what will probably be the third acoustic. And that one I want to do a few things different. Probably mainly, geez, mainly the scale length. I want to try to do a baritone at some point, one of those 8-string baritones. So I got to do a little bit of calculations and figurings. You know, what do I need to move and change and reposition in order to get the scale length to work? But for this one, standard OM, I'm going to build it as much as I want to make it a lefty. I'm going to build this one as a righty. And, you know, maybe sell it, maybe give it to my daughter. I haven't quite decided yet how I want to proceed. But as much as I want to build all of them lefties, I don't need that many acoustics. So that's the plan for this one. Ambrosia maple back and sides, Port Orford cedar top, possibly a maple neck, not sure yet, and right-handed OM 24.9 scale length, I believe, and yeah, that's the plan. Let's see. Mike says, I'm okay with either maple or mahogany. The fretboard and head plate would, in my mind, be the accent pieces. That's my thought. There's a certain part of me that likes the continuity of the wood species. And I'm not saying that anybody that uses something else is wrong. That is absolutely not what I'm saying. I just kind of like I like the theme to continue. If that makes any sense. Now I know mahogany would be a little easier as far as, you know, fitting the neck joint and all that stuff and carving and everything, but I don't know. I got some time to think about that before I get to that step. You know, I have this entire box to create first, so we got a little time on that one. Be Blessed Desert Art says, what's up? What's going on? Be Blessed says, close to complete finish of crosses. The colors are amazing. Tung oil is the stuff for finish. Right on. Robert says, what wood for the fretboard? I haven't even gotten that far yet. I'll probably just do rosewood. You know, I have pretty decent access to rosewood. My local lumber dealer always has a selection of rosewood. He's got a lot of ebony as well, but rosewood, I kind of like the rosewood. So I don't know, it may change, but for right now, that's probably what I'll do. Backwoods Boy, Small Engine says, hello, Homebuilt Workshop. Hello, all. What's going on? Good morning. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? Let's see. Be Blessed Desert Art says, getting worn out. Hi, Desert. The heat is here. Yes, we've had some pretty toasty days here as well, which is kind of a nice change from the stormy raininess. Be Blessed says, if you like Homebuilt Workshop, shout out for me. Right on, man. Thank you. Harry Dude. What's up, man? Harry Dude says, what's up? Hello, everyone. What's up, dude? How's everybody in Australia? How are you doing? What are you working on today? Brian says a Purple Heart fretboard would look nice. You know, that would be kind of cool. I've got Purple Heart plenty. Sorry, I'm thinking about that for a minute. That's a good idea, I think. Huh. What do you guys think? Purple. If I did a maple neck, maple back and sides, with a Purple Heart fretboard and a Purple Heart bridge. Interesting. I wonder how a Purple Heart bridge would look on Port Orford cedar. I don't know. That's an interesting thought because I have Purple Heart. Huh. Thanks for that, Brian. That's got the gears turning. What about Purple Heart binding? Interesting. I gotta think about this one a little bit more because that's a good idea. Maple and Purple Heart looks cool together, I think. Oh, let's see here. Be blessed. Oh, excuse me. Did you hear that? Be blessed says, gotta get back to work soon. Right on. At least I'm glad you could tune in for a few. Backwoods Boy says, doing good, my friend. Bam. Right on. What are you working on today? Anything on the workbench this morning? Be blessed says, I can get tons of mesquite wood and cottonwood. I can get cottonwood around here. Mesquite, I used to have some. I've used it up. I made a few fretboards a year, 2 years ago, I think. Made some fretboards for a couple guitars out of that. And actually, I kind of like that for a fretboard. Backwoods Boy says, how are you? Man, I'm doing good. Doing good. Just finished up working on a pressure washer that was down for the count. Got that thing back up and running. And getting ready to start on another guitar. Paul says, I've got a crazy Bolivian rosewood fingerboard if you're interested. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't gotten that far yet. I don't know. I like to keep the bridge and the fretboard the same species. So I don't know. We'll see as I get a little farther along on that. Harry Dude says, in the workshop, finishing up a setup on a Jackson in drop C. Right on. Old guitar setup day. At least you're not like electrocuting yourself with amplifiers or something. Be blessed says, thanks for the shout out. Brian says, the purple would really pop. Yes, it would. It would really pop. That'd be kind of cool. You got me thinking. I think I might have to do something with Purple Heart. I think that'd be cool. Robert says, if you could find some of Full Moon Ebony, the multicolored ebony would look nice with the right piece. Yes, I've seen some of that with the black and the white. I think that's some cool stuff too. Mike says, no, I'm not into Purple Heart. Takes away from other woods. Also turns brown over time. It does turn brown a little bit. I've not seen it where it turns completely brown. It's kind of like Paduke, right? Like the Paduke that I used on the first acoustic. It does start to take on a brown tint. Now mine's only, I don't know, 6 months old or so, 8 months old. And it hasn't really browned yet. There is a little bit of a browning to it. I don't know how, over time, how much more brown it's going to get. I have some cutting boards that I've made that have Purple Heart in them, and they seem to be holding their shape or their color decently. But you're right, they do brown a little bit, but it still might be cool. I don't know. But the other upside is I already have it on hand. I don't have to buy it, which is always good. Be blessed says he wants some Cholla cactus skeleton wood. I'm not familiar with, like, is that hard? Or is it fairly soft? I'm not familiar with that at all. But it sounds like it'd be kind of cool to mess around with. Neptune says, I was thinking Purple Heart 2. Samson Boat Company is restoring a 100-year-old boat. The keel is Purple Heart, a huge log. Wow, I might have to look that up. Be Blessed says, do you do wood turning? I don't. I don't even have a lathe now. I had one several years ago. Well, probably more like 6 or 8 years ago. It was just a cheap Harbor Freight one, and I used it for a few things. I made some tool handles and stuff like that. But it just wasn't great. So I ended up selling that, and I haven't gotten another one. One day, I've talked about it before. One day I might get one of those small little MIDI lathes, those little teeny ones, to do like pens and stuff like that, because I think that would be kind of fun. Never made a pen. It looks like something I would kind of enjoy. So maybe one day I will. But for right now, I don't do any turning. Be Blessed says staying hydrated. Yeah, that's the key when it's super hot. Robert says it's raining here right now. Well, enjoy your rainy day. There's something relaxing to me about a rainy day. Be Blessed says, I use electric pressure washer for cactus. Not gas, but it does the job. 1600 PSI. Hey, it does the job. Right on. Be Blessed says it's like ebony. Cactus is as hard as ebony? Really? Interesting. Yeah, that might be kind of fun to use, actually. Who uses cactus on a guitar or something? Backwoods Boy Small Engine says, I don't have anything on the workbench today. Waiting for some parts coming in by UPS. Right on. I had to wait for parts for my last project too. Also got the video edited for the pressure washer repair, so that'll be coming up this weekend. Be Blessed says, linseed oil turns the wood yellow. Yes, I have experienced that myself. I think you got to use it for the right application. If you don't, depends on how you want it to change over time. Paul says, I'll send you a pic after work. Also, I have enough for the bridge also. Yeah, send it over. Backwoods Boy says, the guitar build sounds nice. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Can't wait to get started on it. Donna's here. Donna says, good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Donna. How are you doing today? What's going on in your world? Robert says, not sure how the Purple Heart would look as it ages and fades. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure either. It's just, I hadn't even thought about it till Brian brought it up. Just a thought, something I'm going to kick around in my brain. Be Blessed says, oh, cactus is soft. Oh, sorry, I misunderstood you. My bad. Be Blessed says, I have a mini lathe. Wood turn with resin. Some beautiful stuff. That's cool. Sorry, misunderstood you there. Be Blessed says, linseed oil takes forever to dry. Yes, as well as tung oil, in my experience. Be Blessed says, show us some of your finished guitar projects. Well, I would love to. I don't have any out here at the moment. You could scroll back on the channel. I've got lots of videos on a lot of the different ones that I've done. I have a whole series. I think it's like 18 videos of the acoustic guitar, but I have lots of other builds on there as well. And yeah, I don't have any out here at the moment. Not even any in process. That's why I need to get started on this one. Yep, like I said, hopefully today I'll get these plates, get the plates joined and glued up, and yeah, then we can start into the next step would be into the rosette. And I've got an idea. I'll show you for a second. Something I want to play around with. Now, I haven't sliced this up yet. This is just a little stick, but this is lilac, and it has an interesting smell. Uh, I was trimming some branches and stuff. This was a dead branch. We have a lilac tree, whatever, and I cut this down. But inside, like there's all these colors in there. So I saved this thing. I peeled all the bark off it, and I want to let it dry and see if I can. I don't know. To me, I don't know what I could do with it because this does have some splits and cracks in there, but I'm going to play around with that. I thought maybe there might be something cool you could do. Maybe you cut like little cookies out of here, and maybe I can make a rosette out of it or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to let this dry for a bit longer and just play around and see. But I just thought that was kind of neat. I never noticed that, lilac, although I've never really paid any attention, that lilac has colors in the grain. I just thought that was kind of cool. And it has an interesting smell too. Kind of a peppery sort of smell. You know what? I bet this would make some cool pens. If you got down into the center where there was no cracks, that might be kind of cool. Oh, let's see here. Be Blessed says, I live in low humidity, dry desert. Tung oil dries rather fast. The cholla cactus absorbed the tung oil fast. Interesting. We live really dry here as well. Maybe not quite as dry as you, but I mean, our humidity levels are pretty low almost year round. And when I used tung oil on a project, on a little floating shelf that I made for my daughter's room. And I really think that it took months, especially before I couldn't smell it. It probably took 6 or 7 months. It was really weird, and that part kind of turned me off to tung oil. I think it's a great option for a finish. I don't have any issue with it, but just that lingering smell, I didn't like that. Rogue says, "Hey, how we doing?" Pardon my tardiness. Not a problem. We'll write you an excuse. What's going on? How you doing? Glad you could stop in. Backwoods Boy says, you have some very nice guitars I've seen on some of your videos. I do visit your channel, but I'll be honest, I'm terrible with remembering to hit the comments, but I do hit the thumbs up. Right on. No worries. I appreciate it. Yeah. Rogue says, "Hey, chat." And how goes it, Jeff? Good to see you. Good to see you, too. What are you up to these days? What are you working on? Any projects in the works? Neptune says, "Oh, here's a link to the Samson boat company Purple Heart Keel, if interested. I might have to check it out." Brian says, "Perhaps use the lilac for a headstock plate. There is another, I don't think this one's big enough. This is only, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches. But I was looking through there, and I did find a little bit larger one that I think is dead as well. And if it's dead, I might cut it down and do the same thing with that. It might be kind of cool. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I can do with it, but I thought I'd save it and see if, once it dries a little bit, see if there's anything, it could be used for. I just thought it was interesting. It had a cool look once I sliced it off, and something I didn't expect. And it's also, I don't really see a whole lot of stuff done with lilac. Be Blessed says, "Pure tung oil is all natural smell." It is. I agree. I don't care much for it, at least for months. Once it's dry, it's perfectly fine. Be Blessed says, "Take care, guys and gals. Bye-bye." Right on. Well, thanks for stopping in. Have an awesome rest of your week. Mike says, "Band name, Pepper Lilac." Donna says, putting a plank floor door, and it's a hoot. I can imagine. Sounds fun, though. Paul says, gotta go. Work killing my enjoyment. Have a great week. Dang it. Paul, have an awesome week. Sorry you had to leave so soon. But we'll catch you next time. Have a good one, man. Harry Dude says, have you seen how they make plywood? Maybe you can peel the lilac log to make a sheet of veneer. You know, that would be super cool. I'm noticing a little stuttering on the video here. Hopefully it's coming through okay for you. I think that would be cool. I have no clue. How the heck, how would you do that? I don't have the slightest clue. I've seen how they make plywood. You know, they spin the giant log and it just peels off some sort of a cutter. How would you? I don't know how you would do that, but that would be awesome if you could. You gotta think about that. It'd be like a lathe. So like if you cut this off to where it's sort of straight. Man, how would you pull that off on something like this? Because that would be pretty awesome. Make your own veneer. Sounds like you'd have to build some sort of a machine or something. Brian says, later, Paul. Backwoods Boy says, also got my stepfather addicted to your channel. He's a guitar enthusiast, and he plays the guitar very well, too. Right on. Well, thank you. And hello to Backwoods Boy's stepfather. Right on. Mike says, there may be a reason people aren't using lilac. May need to consider epoxy to stabilize it. You might be right. I don't know. That's why I wanted to play around with it. Donna says, oh, a floor. Okay, that makes more sense. A plank floor, and it's a hoop. Gotcha. I'm with you. Rogue says, actually, since you asked, been at my parents'. Late spring cleaning, maintenance projects that my father's having harder and harder time completing. Well, that sounds awesome. Helping out the folks. Right on. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Spring cleaning, I think, ends yesterday. Isn't today the first day of summer? Officially? So now you're doing summer cleaning. Robert says, not sure what the issue was, but I've used some oil finishes that simply would not fully cure. Stayed sticky even after a couple weeks. I don't remember the type of oil I tried to use. Yeah, mine, the biggest issue, I guess the finish that I have had the most issue with as far as drying time is pure tung oil. And that's the only one. You know, I use boiled linseed oil a lot for, you know, utility type shop projects and stuff like that. I think it works great. It does have it's got a bit of a smell for, I don't know, a day or two, but after that it seems like it dries off and it's good to go. I've used, what other ones do we have? You know, Danish oil. I've not had any issue with that. Yes, you know, a couple of days maybe, and it seems to dry off pretty good. But that tung oil, that's the only one where I had any issue and noticed that it took forever. So I don't know. And it says pure tung oil. It's just, that's the only thing that I've ever had take a ridiculous amount of time to fully dry. And like you said, I don't know what the issue was. It just took forever. Rogue says he's getting up there. Stubborn. sounds like yeah, I know what you mean. I think we can all be that way from time to time. I know I can. Sam's here. Sam says, hello. Sorry I'm late. Blame YouTube notifications for not reminding me. Dang it. Oh, that's okay. We waited for you, Sam, and welcome. How's your day going? Hope you're doing good. Darn notifications. I've heard that on more than one occasion, that, you know, the notifications, you know, didn't pop up, or maybe didn't come through, or I don't know. I don't have a solution to that. I wish I did. Sam says, good, thank you. You working on anything? Any sort of projects? I'm getting ready to start on a new guitar. It's gonna be a little while. I forgot what I was gonna say, if you couldn't tell. Originally, I wasn't going to plan to do a big long series like I did with the first build, but I think as I'm working on this, I'm just gonna film kind of where I'm at, and it'll end up being a series again, probably. So, yeah, I've kind of been debating on how I want to do that, but I think I'm gonna probably do it just like the other one. What do you guys think? You want to see a step-by-step series? I know last week it was unanimously, fairly unanimously anyway, you guys wanted to see some build series again. So, build series commencing. Robert says, to remove the sticky oil, I have to use a scraper to remove the sandpaper will clog as soon as I started to sand it. Ooh, that's super sticky. Yeah, it's just weird. I think that there's possibly some connection with, you know, the humidity, the temperature. I think all of those things have some sort of a factor that all, I don't know, it affects how it dries. You know, why my tongue oil thing took months and months, and others, you know, have it take days. It doesn't make any sense to me. I wish I could understand that a little bit more. But I don't. Harry Dude says, I had tongue oil take a week or so to stop smelling. Found that true oil gases off pretty quick and is sandable in one day. Yes, I have heard great things about true oil. I have not personally used it myself. So that's another one that I do want to try. Sam says, trailer furniture is great for cramped fixed homes. Yes, it's usually smaller, takes up less space. Could be a good option depending on what you're trying to do. Harry Dude says, polyurethane takes a day or so to stop smelling and is workable after a couple days. I've found the same thing. A lot of people kind of poo-poo poly, but I think for the right projects, I think it's great. Yeah. Rogue says, for instance, when you were a kid, you held the flashlight for your dad and got yelled at for not shining it in the right place. Yeah, yep. Shine it over here. I am. No, over here. Rogue says, well, he's holding the light for me. Why am I still getting yelled at? That's funny. Oh boy. The roles are reversed, yet the results are the same. Good one. That's a good one. Not heard that one yet. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why the video is stuttering on here, so if you guys are experiencing difficulties, let me know. Oh, let's see here. Sam says, anyone with external Phillips Hue tape light fits in mini trunking. I don't know, Sam. Are you asking if it fits? I'm not sure on that one. Harry Dude says, had to refinish a Fender Jazz bass neck. Sprayed poly, worked well, felt great after buffing. I've done a couple guitars. My first guitar was done in poly. I was playing it a few days ago. And there's a few cracks and checks in there where maybe it's probably because I didn't make sure everything was completely filled before I applied the finish. But overall, it's still got a nice gloss to it. It works totally fine. The neck feels great. Yeah, I have no issue with it. Rogue says, you can have it, man. I'm living it. Oh boy, oh boy. You ever just find random stuff in your pocket? It's like, where the heck did that come from? Robert says, I used the True Oil for gun stock finishing, and the guitar I put it on came out pretty nice. Yeah, I've seen. That's kind of what it is. It's a gun stock finish. At least that's my understanding. That is what it was made for. But it would work so well for so many other things. Actually, if you remember from the acoustic guitar build, to help me along on that process, I went through the Eric Schaefer guitar building course, building an OM acoustic, and he teaches in that course how to use True Oil, how he applies it anyway, for his builds. And he uses True Oil on a lot of stuff, and his guitars look fantastic. So yeah, absolutely, you can totally use it for guitars. I haven't tried it yet. Maybe one time I will. Maybe on this one. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, nothing wrong with True Oil whatsoever. Rogue says, figure any blue collar kid, son of a blue collar man, can relate. Well, I totally relate. Been there, man. Sam says, sorry, the period didn't show. I was saying it does fit in the mini trunking. I don't know what is mini trunking? I don't know what that is, to be honest with you. I need a little more explanation on that one. I heard it says, True Oil is my favorite finish for maple necks. Done one of my Charvels and a couple for a friend. Great feel to it. I love an oil finish on a neck. It is my favorite. Um, it doesn't have, sometimes like if it's super high gloss, like a I don't know, a poly or a lacquer or something, it's really smooth and slick and shiny. But as soon as your hand gets a little sweaty, it can sometimes stick. At least that's what I've noticed. I think a super high gloss finish looks great on a neck, but that stickiness, and I don't mean like sticky like tape or something, but it just seems like your hand doesn't slide as well. On an oil finish, you don't get any of that, and it still feels like the wood. And yes, an oil finish on a neck is my all-time favorite. Now, I haven't used, you said True Oil. It's my experience, any sort of oil finish, where you're not building up those slick, shiny layers. What I've been using is, I don't know how long I'll keep using it, but as long as I have some, I'll keep using it, is the guitar finishing oil from Crimson Guitars. I ordered, I don't know, a fair bit of it, I don't know, a couple years ago. And that works really good. I don't know what kind of oil it is. It's probably some sort of similar mixture to a True Oil, really. It will build up if you put on enough layers. But yeah, just a couple of coats on a neck. I love it. It's my favorite. Not sponsored by Crimson or anything, but that's just what I've been using, and it really feels nice. Scott says a lot of people use the Birchwood KC True Oil on their guitars. I'm trying it. Right on. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. True Oil it's a great finish, and one that I sadly haven't experimented with yet. Rogue says, truth is, I love every second of it, and seeing him as relatively weak as he is lately made me realize how precious that time is. Yes, my friend. Uh oh, we froze. Yeah, sadly you're right. I mean, we only We only get so many days. So you gotta enjoy it. And yeah, I'm with you. I know what you mean. Sam says I'm typing on a Samsung tablet and the whole thing bounces as I type. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I try to do stuff. I'm using an iPad right here, and sometimes typing can be weird. It's all good. Sam says it's probably just in the UK, but it's for running discrete cable runs. If you want to see an image, and perhaps Google Images will help. Oh yeah, like a conduit kind of thing. I gotcha. Robert says I don't have a buffer, but a pretty good gloss can be gotten if a number of oil coats are applied and hand polished. Yeah, you don't need a buffer. I use a little hand battery operated Milwaukee deal that works really good. I would love to have a big pedestal buffer, with the big giant buffing wheels. I don't have room for it. So I just use this little cordless thing, and actually it works really good. Here dude says I do 3 coats on the neck, leave it a day, sand with 4/0 steel wool, repeat 3 or 4 times. Yeah, and it's just an oil finish. I will. That's my favorite, and I will maintain that until someone shows me something better. Yeah, when I do it, like I said, I've been using the Crimson Guitars oil. I will apply probably about 3 coats. So you apply a coat, kind of let it start to tack up, wipe off the excess. I let it sit a couple hours, wipe on another coat, let it sit a few till it starts to get a little bit sticky, and I repeat that probably 2 or 3 times, depending on how the wood soaks it up. But yeah, about 3 coats I think, and it's pretty good. Let's see. Rogue says, "Thanks, brother. I knew you would. For what it's worth, you make me feel better." Well, thank you. I mean, I don't. Right on. I'm with you. I'm with you. I know what you're talking about. Not qualified to give. I wasn't. What I was gonna say. something about therapy or something, but no. I'm with you, Rogue. Yep. Yeah, my dad's getting up there. It's not, but his health isn't all that great either. So yeah, I'm with you. Sam says, Robert, I'm sure you will buffer. I'm sure YouTube will buffer nicely for you. Is it buffering again? Oh, he says I don't have a buffer. Gotcha. Yeah, it's buffering here. Here, dude says I don't have a buffer yet, but I put conical foam pads in my drill press and slow it down. Works well on necks. Yeah, I've seen people use the buffing deals you can get at the auto parts store, stuff like that. I use the 3M Perfect It pads. There's the white, the black, and the blue. Not sponsored or anything, but when I was looking at trying to improve the results I get from buffing things, I was talking with my brother, who is a professional auto body guy. Went to school for it, everything, worked in it for years. So I started asking him kind of what he thought, what sort of options could I use given my space and stuff. And he said, well, one thing that they have, they use the big, 8-inch or 10-inch or whatever buffers, for cars and things. But he said that they had this little cordless deal that they use for little spot touch up and in inside little areas and things. And he thought that might work really well. So I got one, and it turns out it does. I'm basically using the same process you might use on buffing a car or something like that. I'm doing more auto body type processes, but it has been getting great results, and I think that for now, until I have the space for a larger buffer, I'm just going to keep using this thing because it just works so good. But yeah, but But Harry Dude, very similar. It just uses the small pads. Can I even get them? I don't know if I can reach them. I might be able to. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, so these are the ones that I use. I think these are 4-inch pads. And there's 3 different ones. Actually, I probably need to get a new one. This one's starting to get chewed up a little bit. So you start off with this one, for the system that I use anyway. You start off with the white with there's a white compound that goes with this, and it's a little bit coarser. You do your buffing, and at that point, it looks really good. And you're like, well, do I even need to keep going? But when you do keep going, you switch to the black with kind of a gray compound, which is a little bit finer, and you buff it all out with this. And then you're like, holy cow, that did make a difference. And it looks great. Do I really need to keep going? And then you switch to this. This is an even softer pad, and you use a much finer, a special compound for this one, which is blue. They're like, everything's color coded. It's kind of a cool system. And then you buff with this. This gets rid of all the swirl marks, everything. And by the time you're done, you're like, holy crap, I didn't even think that it could have gotten shinier or smoother. And yeah, that's the system that I've been using. Each one takes their own compound, special compound, and I don't mix compounds and pads and all that. So you know, you're doing it 3 times with this system, but the results are amazing. Now they do have, and I'm not sponsoring. I'm not sponsored by This Is 3M, but the system, you know, they've really seemed like they've done a good job getting everything worked out. I've seen that they have some different ones, which is a 1-step system. I haven't tried that yet, but it might be interesting to see how that works out, where you don't have to use the different grits and things. Sam says, I understand there's a varnish in the States that reacts with oxygen and catches fire. There are certain things that can spontaneously combust. I'm not sure about the oxygen thing. It's got to be related to the oxygen. I know, you know, if you take and you use linseed oil and you're wiping a rag, you know, using a rag, you don't want to take that crumply, you know, that rag, crumple it up and throw it in the trash. There is a chance that it can heat up. I've never experienced it, but I also am very conscious to not throw that in there. And I just lay it out, you know, so it can dry and you know, nothing's crumpled up where it can heat up. I've also heard that, you know, steel wool and linseed oil, I think it might again be linseed oil, can do the same thing. I don't use steel wool a whole lot, so that really hasn't been an issue. But yes, there's, you know, you need to be aware that some of these oils can have that spontaneous combustion effect. I remember back in, I don't remember what grade of school it was. I feel like it was elementary school, you know, 5th, 6th grade, something like that. We had a science fair, and my uncle at the time had told me about this steel wool. You know, how if you soak it with linseed oil and, you know, it's sealed up, it'll get hot and you know, you could cause a fire. So that was my science experiment. We took some steel wool and we put it in a plastic bag and poured linseed oil in there and like closed it up and everything. You know, well, that might have been the problem if it's an oxygen thing. But it never heated up. It never did anything. And I was kind of bummed out. But it might have been because we had it in a bag. It couldn't get air to it. Never thought about that. But I'm at the science fair, you know, explaining how this chemical reaction thing can happen, and it never did anything. I'm just like, I don't know. Rogue says, LOL, I'm good. Changing the subject. Sorry, chat. Dude, you're good, man. That's what we're here for. No worries. No apologies necessary. If there's any way I can help, I don't care what it is. I'll do my best. Robert says, personally, I prefer a semi-gloss at most on most wood finishing. I think it allows the grain to stand out better. Yes, you know, it can. I agree with that. There are very few applications where I will apply a high gloss. It depends on what I want to do with it. But yeah, just an oil finish or a matte semi-gloss finish is, especially around the house. Yeah. Sam says your workshop's missing a mini fridge with cold drinks and a television. Well, I mean, I guess technically I have a television. It's the monitor for my CNC machine. It's a smart TV, and you can get channels and stuff on there. But yeah, I don't need to be sitting out here watching TV. The mini fridge would be kind of cool, but also it's not far from my house, so I just walk in if I need a cold drink or something. Neptune says, "Have a great week, everyone. Have to get ready for a doctor appointment. Right on. Well, hope all is well at the doctor's appointment. Thanks for tuning in, bud. We will catch you next time." Brian says, "I'll catch you next time. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and have fun." Right on, Brian. Have a good one. Enjoy getting back to reality after the vacation. I know that's always tough, but right on, man. Thanks for the Purple Heart idea. You got some gears turning in there. Alrighty. Well, yeah, I mean, we are out. We have come upon the hour. So that probably means that I need to wrap this up here shortly so I can get started jointing some guitar plates. Sam says, "Do you have Vaunt tools there?" Not that I'm aware of. I've not heard of them. What kind of tools do they make? I love tools, so I like to learn as much as I can about them. Brian says, "Thanks." Robert says, "Neptunes, best of luck with the appointment." Right on. Yeah, Sam. What sort of stuff do they have? Vaunt. I mean, I'll look them up too, but just curious. Power tools, hand tools. More information. Harry Dude says, "We've come up on the hour. Thus endeth this week's therapy session. Take care, everyone. Stay well." Yeah, hey, that's great. Sandra says, "Tell us about your workbench sometime. Features, materials." You're talking about this one back here? We can cover that real quick before I wrap that up. This one, it's nothing fancy. It really isn't. It is, I don't know if I can tilt this down. It's just a laminated workbench top. You can buy them, you can buy them all over the place. It's hardwood. I didn't build it. It was a big top that was cut down. I don't even know why it was cut down, but it ended up working perfect. The base is just made. I can't really get the camera there to show you. The base is just, I don't know, 4x4s, construction grade 4x4s with some 2x4 framing around it. It's nothing fancy, but it is very hard, and it's a great work surface. One day I would love to build like an actual woodworking workbench, but for now this thing has been working good. The other bench that you see me work on a lot, especially if you watch the YouTube videos, is just a 1-inch thick laminate of 2 pieces of 1/2-inch plywood that I set on top of my table saw. It's just a work surface, kind of a sacrificial thing. I mean, it's tore up, beat up, but it is dead flat, and when I need to use the table saw, I just lift it off of there, set it aside, and do what I need to do. I don't have necessarily like a dedicated woodworking bench. My benches are made for whatever it is I'm working on at the time. I just try to keep them as clean as I can, depending on what I'm working on. And yeah, they've been working out pretty good. Like I said, nothing super fancy, just a workbench. Robert says to Brian, "Have a good one. Stay safe and healthy." Tony says, "I guess I better get back in the shop. Can't get anything done sitting here. Y'all have a great day." Right on, Tony. I got to get to work as well. So we're going to wrap this up. Robert says, Harry dude, have a good one. Stay safe and healthy. Sam says, you mean like the DCF 512 power socket too? Ooh, yeah, I've thought about those. So, right on, guys. We're gonna bring this live to a close. Stay tuned this weekend for the pressure washer repair video, and yeah, in case you need to I can't even talk. In case you need to get one fixed up, this is how I did mine. Got it working again. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you are, I know you guys are. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys taking some time and allowing me to have a little bit of therapy sessions with you guys as well. So, yeah, I hope you all have a great one. Harry Dude says, thanks, Robert. Catch you next week. Backwoods Boy says, thanks. Take care, everyone. Sam says, thanks for the fantastic stream. Right on, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. I'm not just saying that because, well, yeah, you guys are awesome. So you guys have a great one. Stay safe, stay well, get on your shops, make some cool stuff.